News is a report of recent facts. The source of news is the fact. Authenticity is the life of news. However, in the new media era, media use digital technology, network technology, computers, mobile phones, and other terminals to spread information to users, resulting in the spread of fake news as well. It is no longer a one-way spread in the traditional media era, but spread rapidly among different media. The flood of fake news has become a major disease in the era of social media. With the viral spread of social network platforms, the flood of fake news has become a global public hazard. So, what is fake news? Fake news primarily produced by individuals who are concerned not with gathering and reporting information to the world, but rather with generating profit through the social media circulation of false information, mimicking the style of contemporary news. People get news in different ways.
I mean, of course, when I was growing up, most of the time I would just get the news through BBC a lot of the time, but now most of the news that I consume is on my phone. So sometimes I will use different apps, but what I do most of the time now is something called Reddit.
I watch BBC News 24 a lot. I read The Guardian.
Yeah.
I check out links that I see on social media. I think that's the main ways that and I've got a subscription. So I've got a subscription to The Guardian, and I've got a subscription to the New York Times. So I invariably get alerts like everybody else.
Just ask yourself a question. Have you ever felt anxious about the news and information?
Yeah, I'm very anxious. The thing is, especially with social media developing over the last 10 years, everybody is an expert. Anybody can just go online, especially if they get a few followers, and they can say whatever they want.
Yeah, I do. I think a lot of times, especially when the news are not really true. So, for example, there was a news in, I think, Daily Mail. It was telling the public that China, the previous coronavirus patients who already recovered, they was diagnosed again, and the percentage was 17%. So I was really scared when I read this news, because as a Chinese, I have my way to research. And I got the answers from some of my Chinese friends, and they said the statistics is actually from only one hospital. So they were using just one hospital to generalize the whole society. So I feel like it's very dangerous for media to do this kind of very unprofessional thing. So that does actually, make me anxious a lot. That will make people in the UK more anxious, because they don't know the real China, and they might take it as the reality.
Fake news is everywhere, almost just around you.
That's a fake news, but it happened very many years ago in China. That is a very bad and sad story. In Henan, 50 years ago, and there are some people died because stuff. And in that time, the newspaper said only 1,000 people died, but actually there are 300,000 people died in Henan.
Wow.
So I think that is a kind of fake.
Coronavirus explode all over the world. How many news about coronavirus are fake news?
Like for example, with the coronavirus, there were a lot of people saying that there's no such thing as the virus. actually it's the result of 5G mobile network.
Yeah, it's a
And-
little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, but you'll be surprised how many people believe this. And believing it is one thing, right? You need evidence to back that up. Someone reads it, it makes a little bit of sense in their head, and next thing you know, they're sharing it to everybody.
You said that actually it's Trump,
yes.
president, the American president Donald Trump. He said that the coronavirus was originated from a lab in Wuhan city. So he said, China manipulated that and they did it on purpose. But it was actually not true, and it was proved by many British media to say that was wrong, and also by some scientists. So it was really misleading, because I think a lot of Americans tend to think, that really comes from China, and then the country is very hostile. But that was not really the truth. So I think that's the biggest fake news relates to coronavirus these days.
For me, it's about trying to get information from experts. So someone, for example, when it comes to the coronavirus, you want to refer to medical experts, people who are exceptional in their field. They know what they're talking about, not just someone on Facebook. So obviously, certain news agencies and certain platforms, they develop a reputation for themselves. They fact check everything, and you can trust them to some extent. With myself, I'm always a little skeptical. There's an expression which is you take it with a grain of salt. So no matter what or who is reporting information, I'm always careful to double check it. If something is true, hopefully numerous sources will be reporting it, not just one person.
Are there any ways to distinguish fake news from the real ones?
You probably found the same with studying this course. It's made us very suspicious of what we read and how we come across links and information online. So yeah, I trust what I read in The Guardian, and I trust what I read in the New York Times, but I'm generally suspicious of the messages that the government are putting out.
Especially with the coronavirus, right? Like you'll hear a lot of different things, so many different things. Like especially when people were saying that, for example, the virus was made in a lab, you'll hear people saying this. Next person says that it didn't come from a bat, it came from a different animal. Another person will say something else. So of course, not all of the stories can be true. So you have to dig deeper and make sure that the sources that you're taking the information from are authentic and reliable.
The Guardian, sometimes Telegraph, these kind of mainstream media are usually very factual. But there are also occasions that the news could be wrong. So, like for example, like last year, the people who were killed in the lorry, they were Vietnamese, they were not Chinese, but BBC was reporting that was Chinese. So sometimes they could be wrong. But like I said, first focus on the mainstream media, and the second, I think it's more about checking the authoritative website. For example, if there was a fake news these days, like it's about Kim Jong-un, like the leader of North Korea, people said that he was killed, or he was assassinated or dead, but he emerged after 1 month. So I think these ways to more check the website of this country if they officially announce the death of the president. I think that's a way just to check with the related organization or people that might be helping. And the third one, I think just to ask around. Like, I think it's not just about asking one people, because people could be prejudiced. But I think you could ask on some websites like Reddit or like, I don't think Facebook is the one that's really factual, but there are some other websites like Quora you could ask to check whether it's right or wrong. So I think there are ways that I usually use.
So I think in today's day and age, you have to be more critical than ever. because there's just so much different opinions that are spread.
Yeah, every time we just like this comment or comment some yeah, we are the information receiver, but also the information we deliver the information.
Exactly, yeah. Just by sharing it or liking it, you're putting it in front of other people. And if it's incorrect, especially on Facebook. So my mum, for example, she uses Facebook a lot. And I love my mum, of course, but she posts a lot of things without checking, I think. And I think a lot of people from her generation do the same thing.
Yeah.
One person says something and then they share it. They haven't even checked if it's correct, if it's an authentic source. And the next thing you know, it's gone viral. Everybody is reading it.
First and foremost, fake news is a practical problem. Since the birth of the news, fake news has been everywhere. Fake news is not new, it's just the latest moniker for an age-old phenomenon, and consequently, it's not going away. Scale and massive proliferation and consumption of fake news disseminated on dominant digital platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We users, message receiver, as well as massive deliverer. What we can do is limited but necessary. Firstly, keep suspicious about the truth of news. Generally speaking, mainstream media platforms tend to be reliable, but not absolutely. Secondly, double-check is essential before we like, comment, or repost news. Thirdly, media staff, such as journalists, should take responsibility for the news. Of course, sufficient evidence is necessary.